Here's Kern to throw, looking right. Ball stripped out of his arms. It's loose on the field. It's going to be ruled a fumble as Lawson got in there, and Tech covers it. Kyron Drones, who's had an incredible game, drops the throw. Little slick screen to Lane. The catch at the 10. Cuts outside at the 5. Into the end zone he goes. Touchdown, Tech. Jalen Lane puts a bow on this one. The Hokies are going to win it over Wake Forest.
Thursday night in Blacksburg. There's just something different about it. Dating back to 1994 when Ace of Base was given the sign on the Billboard's Top 100 charts, Virginia Tech kicked off their first of 35 appearances to date in the primetime Thursday night slot. Today, it's the Hokies taking on the Orange of Syracuse in primetime fashion. Hokie Walk Live starts now.
Darkness is not our life.
Lane Stadium, Thursday night football. That's Blacksburg. That's Virginia Tech.
A spectacular interception. Does it get any better than Thursday night Blacksburg?
Get those motors running when we leave this locker room. We practice hard. Put it on display.
Hit as he throws, ball pumped free.
You look so forward to the next play. Impose our will to a man. Let's go, man.
To the goal line. Break. Direct for Lane. Touchdown.
Never sleep again.
Well, there's the scene. Hokie Walk on Beamer Way, just outside of Lane Stadium. Going to be an electric atmosphere as the Hokies pull up in their team buses, getting ready for this one between Virginia Tech and Syracuse. Let's give a couple of shout-outs to those of you that are tuning in. AC, let's go Hokies. Let us know where you guys are watching from throughout the stream, and we'll try to throw some shout-outs up on the screen as we go along for the next 15 to 20 minutes or so. Go Hokies. Hunt, DBU, LPD, let's go Hokies, drones to Lane all night. We're going to have much more on Jalen Lane coming up here in just a few moments. Let's go Hokies, says David. Colin, right here, let's go. Hope you're having a great day wherever you might be watching from. Tanya, cheering from the great state of California across the country. Let's go Hokies. All right, let's take a look at what's coming up on today's show as we get you set for Hokie Walk Live here. In just a few seconds, we'll bring you inside the film room with head coach Brent Pry and former All-American Kevin Jones as they break down Jalen Lane's second touchdown reception against Wake Forest just a few weeks back. Tune in to TriumphNIL.com every week during the season for a new episode of Coach's Corner. About 5 after the hour, coming up here in just a few moments, the team will arrive, and that's the reason that you guys are tuned in. It's commercial-free coverage of Hokie Walk Live from Lane Stadium. Plus, stick around afterwards for a little bonus coverage from inside the stadium. More coming up on that here shortly. Finally, it's going to be defensive lineman Cole Nelson that we visit with as he'll get you ready for tonight's matchup against Syracuse from the practice field. But first, let's head to the film room with head coach Brent Pry.
Hey, Hokie Nation. It's Kyron Drones, QB on the Virginia Tech football team. Follow my channel on TriumphNIL.com and subscribe today.
Virginia Tech getting set to take on Syracuse this Thursday inside Lane Stadium at 7:30 p.m. on ESPN. Mitch Gerber alongside the former All-American Kevin Jones and head coach Brent Pry. All right, fellas, we got one play to break down this week. This one coming against Wake Forest. A nice play here coached by Jalen Lane.
Yeah, let me tell you the situation in the game on the headset. Wake Forest has one timeout here. Coach Bowen says, Coach, I got a play I really want to dial up. I think it's going to hit. But if we got to throw it away, then Wake doesn't burn their last timeout. We want to be aggressive in this situation. Let's go put the nail in the coffin and win the game, close it out. I said, let's go do it. And, well-designed play. Love that he jumped on there and wanted to be aggressive with it. Well executed by everybody from the quarterback to Jay Lane, and then watch this offensive line and tight end, the work they do. Clinic tape on a tunnel screen.
Yeah, I got this term. It's called festina lente. You know what that means?
No, what's that mean?
It means hurry up slowly. So I was looking at Lane, the patience there. Because, you know, somebody that's moving too fast would just mess this perfect,
that's exactly right,
development up. So
you got to let those blocks kind of develop. It takes a minute and to get in behind them. And look at the celebration again. But, a lot of credit to Coach Bowen and the offensive staff, and then what these guys were able to do with the play to close the game out. Look at Big Brody, 77, just mauled that guy.
Nice play there by your offense for sure.
Absolutely.
What was that phrase one more time?
Festina lente.
That's going to end this week's edition of Coach's Corner.
Hurry up
See you
slowly.
Thursday inside Lane Stadium at 7:30 p.m.
Kevin Jones, that was a comical guy there in the film room with head coach Brent Pry. But don't forget, fans, to join us every single week during the 2023 Virginia Tech football season for Coach's Corner. And don't forget, after tonight's game, to join us live for the Triumph NIL postgame show, where we'll sit down with head coach Brent Pry, as well as a few other select Virginia Tech student athletes to break down tonight's primetime matchup on ESPN.
Hey, Hokie Nation, this is head football coach Brent Pry. Name, image, and likeness has created an unprecedented opportunity for you to play an active role in bringing championships back to Blacksburg. I'm asking you to be part of the team. Go to triumphnil.com today and become a monthly subscriber. Your support is critical to keeping Virginia Tech competitive and relevant on a national scale. We can be as good as we decide to be. Thanks for doing your part at triumphnil.com, and go Hokies.
Well, if you guys want to get involved with the NIL community here at Virginia Tech, your support matters. I'm telling you, it makes a difference in what's to come in the future here in Blacksburg. So be sure to check out triumphnil.com today, or take a screenshot of whatever you're watching right now and scan that QR code in the top right later tonight at any point and get involved in that community. Now, we're going to get to our Hokie Walk live coverage, nonstop, commercial-free here in just a few moments, as the team is about 2 minutes away from arriving right there on Beamer Way. But we've got to go through some of these shout-outs. When I tell you guys that we put that out there to see where people are watching from, look at this one. We got Michael that's watching all the way in England, staying up late to watch this one. Every person matters, no matter where you might be watching from. Geared up at my TV in Los Angeles at 4:30 in the afternoon. An early one over there for Ben. Some love down in San Antonio, Texas. Robin, enter Sandman. I mean, everybody loves that moment. You can't deny that one at all. There's the team bus officially arriving here in Blacksburg on Beamer Way. This starts our nonstop commercial-free coverage of Hokie Walk Live. All right, here we go. Hokie Walk Live. You see Jalen Lane, Kyron Drones getting off the bus right there. This is bus number 1. For those of you that have been at Hokie Walk before, you know that this is the bus that pulls up right away, and this is the one that houses head coach Brent Pry. Some of the starters there, like Kyron Drones. You see him right there. You see Quan Felton. You see Bayshall Tootin. You see Jalen Lane. You hear the cannon going off in the background potentially as well. Hokie Village was just across the street. Ollie Jennings continues to improve. He's on bus number 1. That's a good sign for these guys. And bus 2 and 3 pull up right after. That houses the rest of this program as they get off the bus and ultimately make that walk up Beamer Way towards Merriman, where you'll see right there, they're going to make that walk up, and it goes towards Merriman, which is the football complex here, as well as the rest of athletics here in Blacksburg. They'll make their way down a set of stairs and then ultimately into the locker room, while some of them go out to Lane Stadium onto the field to make sure that they get one last look, take it in before they ultimately turn the page to be able to get things started for this program. Let us know where you're tuning in from. We'll get those shout outs up on the screen, just like this, watching in the state of Pennsylvania. Now, the team does pause right here for a second just to make sure that they are all off the bus, they're all ready to go, and then they'll start to make that walk up. And as they get set to make that walk, once they do, we're going to tune in and we're going to listen in live for you guys. Watching over in San Diego, says Kimberly. I have no idea what the weather is over there, but I'd have that to imagine it rivals what's here in Blacksburg. We'll get to an exact weather report for you guys here in just a little bit. Watching down in Miami, Florida. Let's go Hokies, with a little bit of censorship there. There's nothing wrong with that. Watching down in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Hope you're having a great day, Tyson, down in Chattanooga, watching in the great state of North Carolina. Look at all these cameras that we got for you right now. Now, here comes Kyron Jones, followed by, I believe that is Jalen Lane right there. Let's go ahead and listen in live to Hokie Walk Live right now.
Why are we always in the front?
Well, there it is right there. That is a live look and listen into Hokie Walk. We'll get back to more here in just a few seconds. You do see Ollie Jennings in the distance there doing some high fives to these fans. They make that walk up Beamer Way. For those of you that have never been here during a game atmosphere, they give high fives to families, to little kids, to people that are inspired by them, that look up to them, that make an impact. This is one of those moments that you always remember as a Virginia Tech football player. And you never forget moments like this as we continue to bring you this nonstop coverage, commercial-free, of Hokie Walk Live. Appreciate everybody that is tuning in. AC, this is awesome. We got to hype this up more. Absolutely, AC. I don't know who you are, where you're watching from, but let's go, AC. Pump this thing up as we continue to bring you coverage like this on the NIL front. Heading up to the game, says Dalton. Drive safely wherever you might be watching from. Traffic was a little bit lighter today, that since it was a Thursday afternoon or evening game, rather. But I can tell you that traffic's starting to pick up. Tailgate lot's starting to get busy, as you see in the distance right there. Look at that shot right there. Beautiful afternoon here in Blacksburg, Virginia. This is from the 5th floor of Lane Stadium, where the windows are a little bit dirty with some of that construction going on. So that's why it's a little bit dirty, but that's the shot right there that you can see. Mountains in the distance, Hokie Village right there. Let's listen in one more time as the team makes their arrival into the Merriman Football Complex. Well, I just saw Cole Nelson walk by right there. We'll have more on Cole Nelson coming up from the field level here in just a few moments, as this doesn't stop our coverage. We've still got about 10 plus minutes of coverage. We're going to bring you inside Lane Stadium as you see the final guys walking through this tunnel of the cheer team, as well as support system, being family members, so on and so forth. We'll bring you more coverage here on Hokie Walk Live. It doesn't stop at Hokie Walk. We continue to lead you up to kickoff. Let's give you some more shout outs as you watch these guys walk in right here into the Merriman complex. They're going to walk down those stairs. They walk down a hallway for about 30 to 45 seconds or so, and then they walk into the locker room where they ultimately get ready for this matchup. Once again, it's going to be 7:30 p.m. against Syracuse on ESPN. So we continue to roll through these shout outs right here. Dylan, we already got you watching down in Miami. Tech VPI. Appreciate you tuning in. Real Bip, I think it is. I don't know. I can't really fully see that on the screen. I'm going to be honest with you. Charles, let's go Hokies. Already got Tyson down in Chattanooga, Tennessee. I don't know if you guys saw, but somebody is tuning in from South America. Man, that's crazy. Watching from Madison, Wisconsin. Colin, incredible content. Keep it up, Triumph NIL. Shameless little plug here. Make sure you subscribe to triumphnil.com so we can continue to bring you coverage live just like this from everything outside of the actual game that you see on your TV. You see head coach Brent Pry right there making that walk past the cheer team, past the Spirit Squad, making his way down. He is ready for this primetime matchup on ESPN. Watching all the way from Germany. Man, Berlin, Maryland, right here in lot 2, Larry says. I don't know where your tailgate is, but hey, hope you're having a great tailgate. All right, there you guys go. You see the buses now departing Beamer Way right there. So that is essentially the entirety of Hokie Walk. So from 5:05 till about 5:11, 5:10, it's all of 5 minutes. You're getting that nonstop commercial-free coverage that we're going to be continued to deliver to you guys on live streams like this. But that's an experience that these football players never forget, no matter where they may come from. Watching down in Ocala, Florida, watching from lot 1, just beyond this camera right there. Hope you're having a great time tailgating as you get ready for kickoff between Virginia Tech and Syracuse. Dalton, we already got you coming to the game. Hope you continue to make your way towards Lane Stadium. Wishing luck from Prince Edward Island. Hope you're having a great day there, Keith. Continue to bring you this coverage here on Hokie Walk Live. As our cameras continue to go out towards Lane Stadium, we're going to bring you some exclusive content. Now, there's the hallway right there. That's basically where this team walks down that I was just talking about, where they ultimately go towards the locker room and get ready for this game. David watching over in the state of Pennsylvania. Pry is our guy, says TJ. Becca's watching from the state of West Virginia. Pleasant, South Carolina, Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. Joe, hope you're having a great day as well. Family confirmed. The Hokie Walk has been going on since the Beamer days. We were just tailgating in Lot A. AC continue to provide that content for us as we give you shout outs across the screen right here. Back on track. 3 wins, says Rex. And finally, Renee watching from the state of New York. Continue to let us know where you're watching from. We're going to bring you inside Lane Stadium here in just a few moments, as you see right there, as we get you ready for kickoff between Virginia Tech and Syracuse. Let's go ahead and get the stage set for this one between these two programs. Now, this series dates back to 1964. Pay attention to this stat. The Hokies have thrived in ESPN's Thursday night's game showcases, appearing back 35 times with a record of 23-12. Tech's first appearance on Thursday night came back on September 22nd of 1994, which was a 34-6 win over West Virginia in Blacksburg. The Hokies in orange played 12 times throughout their series, with both programs are back in the Big East rather, but once Syracuse made the jump to the ACC in 2013, they have since only played twice. When these two programs last met in Blacksburg, the Orange won 41-36 during the 2021 season, and Syracuse is 3-6 all-time inside Lane Stadium, as kickoff is set for 7:30 p.m. Eastern on the mothership of ESPN. Here's your live look inside Lane Stadium. Weather is fantastic here in Blacksburg today. When I tell you that it is beautiful, it is about 75 degrees, partly cloudy, barely. You guys saw that on the wide shot of Hokie Walk right there. Sun's going to set at about 6:30. So we got about another hour and 15 minutes until that sun sets. And then it'll go dark here and it's going to cool off a little bit. So if you are making your way to the game, for those of you that are in the tailgate lot, if you're questioning about bringing that coat inside, I highly advise you to be able to do so. Bring that coat inside, as it will get a little bit chilly, but a perfect night for college football here in Blacksburg, Virginia. Some light winds, barely. We're talking about 4 miles per hour out of the southwest for this matchup. 75 degrees, partly cloudy. Sun going to set at about 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. Well, let's turn it over towards Cole Nelson, who we talked about earlier this week, or earlier during the stream, about a practice report with him. Cole's going to wear the number 25. We'll have more information on that here coming up shortly. But for now, let's toss it over towards the practice field, where we caught up with him earlier in the week.
This is Rachel Philman. Support NIL at Virginia Tech by subscribing to triumphnil.com today.
Virginia Tech getting set to take on Syracuse this Thursday inside Lane Stadium at 7:30 p.m. on ESPN. Mitch Gerber alongside defensive lineman Cole Nelson. Cole, for you guys specifically, how did you take advantage of the bye week?
Hey, man, I was just out here just taking care of my body, getting extra film, just lifting, and just having fun, playing the game a little bit, playing a little bit of Spider-Man.
A little bit of Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah, come on. Got to play that Spider-Man.
I love that. All right, for you guys specifically, you are going to take on Syracuse this Thursday, obviously right behind us inside Lane Stadium. What's Coach Pry's message been to this program here this week?
Really, his message has been to go 1-0 another week, and just keep going and just keep building on every single day. Just keep stacking days.
For you guys as a defensive line group, what's been the focus for you guys in practice?
I say the focus for us is just to also just keep stacking days. Like, we're doing good, tied first in the ACC with sacks. So we're just trying to keep it pushing and keep stacking days, just keep getting better every single day.
Tied for first in the ACC in sacks. How does that give you guys a little bit of extra motivation to continue to keep that going?
It just Coach Price, he just tells us every single day that, like, we are a very good D-line. Like, we could be the top D-line in the country. We just got to go out there and prove it. And, just seeing, like, all our hard work being paid off, just seeing all the stats out there, it just makes us want to keep going harder and harder every day.
Virginia Tech going to take on Syracuse inside Lane Stadium at 7:30 p.m. on Thursday on ESPN. Well, that is Cole Nelson, who joined us earlier in the week from Blacksburg, Virginia, for the Triumph NIL practice report, which we deliver every single week. So if you miss any of those, go check it out on triumphnil.com. All right, so we are going to continue our live exclusive coverage here, and it includes bringing you through the tunnel into Lane Stadium. So bear with us as we continue this coverage. It's basically streamed off of cell phones. I don't know why I just sounded like I'm from the 1912s, but regardless, this is off of a cell phone. So we've got cell towers and coverage and stuff like that. So you guys are now seeing the cornerback group come out on the field. They are the only position group that does this pregame. There's a couple of other players that come up, but the cornerbacks specifically, they come out and they meet as a position unit to specifically talk about, what's the game plan? What do we need to do as a position unit to be able to capitalize off of this win, to be able to make sure that we maximize our potential on any given game day? Today happens to be Thursday instead of Saturday. So you're going to see that coverage here as we continue. As those guys make their way down past the 50-yard line as a position unit right now, we're first going to toss it over towards Kendall Williams, who gives us more information about Cole Nelson wearing the number 25. Kendall? Unmute. Okay, let's go back. Yep. Oh, just kidding.
Okay.
It was on mute. We'll get that solved in just a second here. All right, we're going to go back towards the cornerbacks here for just a second as Kendall gets her microphone adjusted for her shot here to tell us more about Cole Nelson. But you see that cornerback unit as they continue to roll down the field past the 50-yard line towards the end zone right here. This is a unit that had a lot of success last week, specifically Derek Canteen. He contributed to the stingy Tech defense against Wake. Georgia Southern transfer had one of his most impressive outings coverage-wise to date here in 2023. He finished with his second highest defensive grade of the season, 72.9, according to Pro Football Focus. You see these guys with position unit coach Derek Jones, a.k.a. Cheetah. He's a defensive recruiting coordinator and cornerbacks coach. They get in this circle, Mansour Delane, Derek Canteen, and they do a couple of different things. Each of them have an opportunity to be able to speak as leaders, as what's going through their head. What are they thinking before they go to a game like this? What do they need to do specifically as an individual to help their position group? They do a team prayer, and then they ultimately get some last words of encouragement from Derek Jones, a.k.a. Cheetah, before going back to the locker room, take those headphones off and get their uniform ready to go. So that's what these guys are doing right now on the far side, opposite of where Virginia Tech enters during Enter Sandman. This is on the far side of the field. You see right there. What a shot right here. That sun starts to set. Things continue. That sun continues to go down, but we continue to get you ready for kickoff as you see the cornerbacks there on the far side of the field by the field goal post, continuing to get ready for this matchup. All right, let's check back in with Kendall Williams with more on number 25, Cole Nelson this week. Kendall?
Thanks, Mitch. Yeah, guys, we continue to talk about the number 25 tradition and how awesome it honestly is for Virginia Tech football. It started back to honor old head coach Frank Beamer. Beamer wore the number 25 jersey at his time here at Virginia Tech, and it is a weekly award now given out to a special teams player that shows excellence on the field. Head coach Brent Pry decided this week that the award would go to junior defensive lineman from Johns Creek, Georgia, Cole Nelson. Cole Nelson said it was an absolute honor to wear the number 25, and he can't wait to show Hokie Nation what they've got out there tonight. Mitch?
Well, definitely an honor to be able to wear that number 25 jersey. Those of you that have been close to this program and followed this Virginia Tech brand for a number of years know the significance of that number 25 jersey. But Cole Nelson, a product of the state of Georgia, what an honor for him to be able to wear that number 25 jersey. If you weren't able to check out the social media video put out by Hokies Football, go check that out on Twitter, Instagram, wherever you might get that access from. An awesome moment from head coach Brent Pry to be able to recognize Cole Nelson to wear that number 25 jersey. A beautiful shot here inside Lane Stadium as that cornerback unit continues to get ready for this game. As I was talking about, everybody gets an opportunity to speak what's on their mind. They get to get ready as a position unit. They know that they are one of the biggest factors as that defensive unit to be able to pick up a victory inside Lane Stadium or on the road. So every single week, no matter if it's at home or on the road, this is where these guys meet. They go out and make that lap. They talk amongst each other and then go back towards the locker room as we bring you this extensive, exclusive access from inside Lane Stadium. Let's get some more shout outs on the screen. Let us know where you are watching from, wherever that might be, as we continue to bring you this exclusive coverage. We'll wrap it up here shortly, and then ultimately it's up to you to flip it over to ESPN and primetime action over on ESPN. AC, I appreciate your support throughout this entire live stream. Smash that like button. Let's keep this thing going. Cars on 81 says, I hope you're okay on 81. I hope you're making your way up towards Lane Stadium. That would be awesome. Hopefully you're making your way up here today. All right, we're going to take one more short break before we wrap up our coverage here on Hokie Walk Live.
Hi, this is Emma Lemley, and I'm a junior on the softball team.
This is Natalie Mitchell, sophomore on the women's soccer team.
This is Jennifer Arogo on the high-tech stance team.
This is Cassie Grizzard, a sophomore on the softball team.
Help me help the kids of Southwest Virginia win the fight against childhood cancer.
Please go to fightingkidscancer.com to learn more and donate today.
Even $10 will help save a child's life.
Help save the life of a child fighting cancer in Southwest Virginia. Donate any amount today at liferainfoundation.org. Well, there it looks. One more live look inside Lane Stadium as the sun continues to go down. Sunset going to be about 6:30 p.m. with kickoff coming about an hour after that at 7:30 p.m. on ESPN. It's 23 minutes past the hour. Let's get a couple more shout-outs here before we wrap up the stream. Kathy, getting ready to head towards the stadium. Let's go, Hokies. Now, I know it's about 5:23. I'm impressed with how many people are actually tuning in. I'm looking at my producer right now. He's shaking his head in agreement because there's a lot of people tuning in. You might be at work right now. You might be on the drive time home. What a great version of a podcast for you. As you're making that drive, you might be headed to the stadium, whatever it might be. Share this live stream. And if you guys give us support over on triumphnil.com, we'll continue to give you guys this type of access no matter where you might be watching from. Watching from the great state of Southwest Michigan. Wow, that's up there in the north a little bit. Watching from Blacksburg, Virginia. Blackstone, Virginia. My fault there. My fault. Hope you're having a great day as well, wherever you might be. Go Hokies, says Lane the Golden. Is Lane the Golden a dog? Does Lane the Golden have a YouTube channel? I'm going to assume yes. I'm going to go check that out after this stream. That's awesome. There it is, Lane Stadium. You're seeing some of those guys getting their final preparations in before going to get their uniforms on, getting their headphones off, getting ready for this matchup between Virginia Tech and Syracuse. One more live look at that cornerbacks unit as they wrap things up. Mentioned Derek Canteen. He had an awesome performance last game against Wake Forest. He was tested the most in coverage of anybody of that secondary unit. He was targeted 7 different times, allowing just 2 receptions for 25 total yards and recorded his first interception in the maroon and orange with a heck of a play on the sideline right in front of the Hokies bench that lit this stadium up and got them on their feet. APR, another absolutely defensive factor, defensive weapon last game against Wake Forest. He picked up 4 sacks as a Florida transfer, tied a school record, which was previously held by J.C. Price, his position coach. What are the odds of that back in 1995 against Miami? All right, that's going to do it for this edition of Hokie Walk Live. Special thanks to our entire crew who made this show possible, and for all of you who continue to support the NIL mission at Virginia Tech. Once again, take a screenshot right now. Be sure to scan that QR code in the top right and do your part to continue building a championship program here in Blacksburg. You have a chance to make an impact on the future of Virginia Tech football like never before. Join our community and become a monthly subscriber at triumphnil.com. It's Virginia Tech and Syracuse coming up at 7:30 p.m. on ESPN. We'll see you afterwards for the Triumph NIL postgame show.